My car exploded on the motorway on the way to a meeting. I was a single parent, I was working full time. I was really stressed out. And then my outgoings went down by £870 a month.
Hey all, welcome back to Alternative House channel. Today I met Hannah and she has been living on here Narrowboat already for 9 years.
This is my home for me and my son and my little doggy. We have cruised the waterways and we now have a mooring in London. My boat is 42 foot and 6 foot wide. It was built in 1989. The boat was a project. Inside was quite derelict, which was great because I knew I needed to make it bespoke for my child, who was 4 years old at the time. So my brother helped me rip it out and we got it ready in 6 weeks. This is my aerial for internet, very important.
Okay.
But I've laid it down because it was windy. Yep, some wild plants here.
So when it's windy, no internet?
Yeah, when it's really very bad internet. Really long hose for when we're cruising, and paddleboard. At the moment, we only go cruising in school holidays. My son is at secondary school, so he needs to be around.
So basically it's like holidays, but you take it home?
Yeah, now. At one time we were constant cruisers, but now we are like part-time. My solar panel, this is a lot of power, it's great. I don't know how much, I can't remember the thing. I've got 2 leisure batteries, both 120.
It's enough for you for cruise, like what you consume?
It's enough for cruising,
okay. Not
for like crazy amounts, but enough to just charge our laptops and
right. And you probably have generator or something? Or charging from
the engine powers too, yeah. It's my deck area.
And you have to remove the roof when you're cruising?
No, because I had this remade about 7 years ago, and I had a window put in, so I can drive when it's raining.
Yeah.
And see where I'm going.
And it's not too high for bridges and stuff?
Some bridges I have to take it down, but not many. This is for just like tool stuff that isn't a problem if it gets damp. Tools and things like pins and ropes and things like that. This is the only bedroom actually, and it's my son's. He gets that privilege because he didn't choose this life, I did. So he gets the best bedroom.
He chose the spot, or you just told him that you...
No, I just told him. No, because he was so young when I got the boat. Yeah. So me and my brother had to quickly rip this room out and make it fun. If he wants more space, we can just pack all this away. This goes up. Just trash everything. Tiny home, lots of mess.
Okay, so I can make extra space.
Yeah, that's it. He's even got a 3D printer.
Okay.
I mean, he's got everything a normal kid has.
Well, I don't think everyone has 3D printer.
No, exactly. There's privileges to being a boat kid because I've got a little bit more freed up money. So
9 years ago, you built it as it is, and then you have been adjusting sometimes over the time.
I only did his room in 6 weeks. It has been redecorated since then, and like things added, like this desk. My end of the room was a building site for a long time.
Okay.
I literally had I was on this like fold out bed thing with a circular saw next to me, and I used to put my morning tea on the circular saw.
Okay. You got even TV?
Yeah, it's got an Xbox.
So everything what kid would want to have.
Yeah. And he's got a piano in my room as well.
Okay. And this is the bathroom?
Yeah, this is the shower, but when we're moored up, I'd use it as my wardrobe.
Okay, multi-purpose room.
Yeah, then when we are cruising again and need the shower, I just take all the clothes and put it on his bed and have a shower. Yeah, everything's got to be multi-purpose, right, in this space. It's the toilet.
Oh.
It's tiny, I don't know if you'll... Can you see? I'm very vain, I have a picture of myself in the toilet. Hello, toilet.
So you have just potty?
Yeah.
No composting or something?
Not yet, no. I'll get round to it one day.
Yeah. So, but because now you're moored, you have like everything, like facilities.
Got the
washing machine and stuff.
Yeah, we've got laundrette.
Everything is here.
Yeah, it's so nice.
Yeah, right.
It feels like luxury after constant cruising.
And how many years have you been on this spot?
In this mooring since 2023.
Okay. And was it easy to find a spot?
No, I bought a concrete boat, complete wreck.
Okay.
It was flooded.
Okay.
It had rats in it. I bought it in order to swap my boat into the mooring.
Yeah.
It took me and a team of about 5 people 2 weeks to get the boat out.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big job.
So it's like some lorry came and picked it up, or?
No, so we emptied it out, wet backed it out, and then just trying to move it by hand, like each day, just like trying to move it more because it was really beached. And then a really amazing guy called Arthur, who's very resourceful, came and he tied it to his Land Rover and put the rope around the end of the pontoon, and then just kept driving his Land Rover, like revving it up until eventually the boat dislodged. And we moved it with an outboard.
Okay.
And I managed to sell it. Crazy.
Like for metal price?
No, for someone used it as a home.
Really? Okay.
There was a lot of interest because it was brutalist style.
Okay.
I didn't expect that. I thought I'd have to pay to have it destroyed. But there was a lot of interest.
Nice. And is it expensive to buy a spot in such a marina?
In this marina, in effect, it's cost me like £17,000.
Yeah.
To get them just a contract.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but basically, then now you have your own spot.
Yeah.
Very central, with address as well, I guess.
No, I have a commercial studio for my photography.
But it's not option to have here?
No.
Address. Okay, so it's just the parking, basically.
Yeah.
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 But central. That's nice.
We can't be here all year round.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Nice. And this is the kitchen?
This is Galley kitchen, yeah.
Yeah, got many comments. It's Galley, it's not a kitchen.
It's a Galley kitchen. I didn't know until I got a boat, and people are like, oh, nice Galley kitchen. But yeah, here's my Galley kitchen. This is the water boiler for the shower and the sink. This is central heating, which is amazing.
Okay, not on gas.
Gas central heating, yeah. So I just changed the propane bottles over.
Yeah.
Go through them quite a lot in the winter, but in the summer, it's one lasts me all summer. 13 kilogram.
But because you're moored now, you have electricity and you have water.
Yeah,
hookups.
When I'm here, I can just hook up to electricity.
And the water is still refilling your tank, or you can connect directly?
No, I refill the tank.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I still filter the water. Even though I've had the tank treated, I still filter.
Yeah.
In this.
And when you cruise, you just refill it like from from taps.
Yeah, luckily when I bought the boat, the water tank was quite big anyway. It's quite lucky.
So how many liters, you know?
I can't remember. I wrote it down somewhere. Sorry, I should have this information ready.
Is it like in the front, the nose? It's like a tank.
Yeah, like that. Like a third of that bed is the water tank.
Right.
Yeah, it's great.
So
I had
enough.
friends in wide beams that I was cruising with, and they were running out of water in the third of the time.
So how long it lasts for you and your son?
It would last at least 2 weeks when we were cruising.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. This is living room, dining room, office, bedroom.
Right. There is a fireplace.
Yeah.
So because you have central heater, this is just like for coziness.
Yeah, so I use it, but it's not so essential now that we're moored because we have electric and it's easy to get gas bottles. But that's more for the romance, really. And it's better for damp to use the fire. It really just blasts it out. It gets so hot. I open all the windows, even in midwinter, all the windows and hatch, and then you're just letting all the damp, horrible air out, which is great.
And how you came up with the idea? Why boat?
Why a boat? I was really, really, really stressed out. I was a single parent. I was working full time. I was picking my kid up really late at night, and I was really desperate for a change. Yeah, and there was just this 1 week where everything went wrong, and I didn't have the capacity for things to go wrong. Like my car exploded on the motorway on the way to a meeting, and it was kind of like, okay, something's got to change now. My brother was already living on boats. He refits boats, which is why this lifestyle was accessible to me. Otherwise I would not have had a clue what to do. But yeah, I rang him and I said, I need you to come and help me get a boat immediately. So
basically it was like to slow down,
save money. But yeah, obviously to slow down I needed to be spending a lot less money. And so when I got the boat, my outgoings went down by £870 a month. So then 6 months in, I gave up my job and went fully self-employed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you were doing and what you're doing exactly now the same, or you just completely switched?
No, I was in marketing and now I'm just a freelance photographer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So completely changed. Basically made your hobby.
Yeah, my side hustle is my main hustle.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was possible mainly because of the boat. Like you wouldn't have so much bills to pay.
I would not have been able to do it without the boat. No way. And this, because it's such a small footprint, the mooring and the license are pretty cheap, right?
Yeah.
So although, you know, a lot of people get it for the lifestyle, and that was a real good byproduct, my main priority was saving money. So my brother was like, get as small as you can possibly live in. And yeah. And then slowly I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. We've just got like ducks and swans and we could just forage for dinner, like go and get some fresh leaves from the towpath.
Yeah. And in all these years, was the moment that you thought like, oh, it's enough. I want back to apartment or house?
I've had my moments, yeah. Probably, you know, when we were constant cruising, I ran out of water and then my water pump broke. It took me ages to get the right parts to get it fixed. So I was using like a camping like water tank and having to carry that all down a towpath to fill up. You know, little things like that you would not have to worry about in a house. And I, you know, question my decisions. Like, what was I thinking? Actually, as time's gone on, there's been so many extra things that have come along that have convinced me that I made a good decision.
Right.
Like the community is amazing. Like such resourceful people. Like my son can fix bikes, he understands engines. None of that would have happened if we'd have just been in a flat.
Are you considering to stay on the same boat or go bigger?
Yeah, at the minute I'm at a crossroads. My son is catching up with me height-wise. Although he's really happy at the minute, I keep checking. Maybe I'll buy him a small boat to go next to me. I know other boaters that do that.
To tow behind.
Yeah, because I could get a bigger boat, but then, you know, he might get to 16 and still be like, it's a bit much living in a boat with your mum. So maybe I just jump further ahead and just get him a small boat.
So what average would you say like living costs are on such a boat?
I think let's go for 500 across the year, with including like coal, gas, wood. I think 500.
Which is very nice, right? To be in London.
I couldn't like to live in anywhere in London, that it just wouldn't be possible, would it?
Right. Nice. No. And you play piano? Keyboard?
No, my son plays piano.
Okay.
He's had 2 teachers that live on boats, constant cruisers, like incredible musicians as well, because there's a lot of creative people on the water, because they need that flexible lifestyle too. You know, they have that up and down income. So yeah, we've met some really incredible creatives. He's got like a rock star piano teacher.
Yeah, because this such expenses service with marine, and if you decide to go lower in expenses, you can just be back cruising, and then it's cheaper, right?
That's the thing. Like he's happy at the minute at secondary school, and I've got a studio that's going well. But if anything goes wrong again, you know, if lockdown happens again, in lockdown we just untied our ropes and just went cruising and lived really cheap. So at least I know we can always do that again.
So this is your work desk?
Yep, and dinner.
Okay.
Yeah, while I do my work. And yeah, dinner time we just put that over there. We get the chairs out. The gas central heating, radiators there.
This is the master bedroom, if you can call it so.
Yeah, it has become the master bedroom. This was I guess like a cruising area with like rows of seats either side. You could fold out into a bed, and there was a steering wheel at the front that was detached. I don't know.
Okay, but usually I have seen that there is like a door in the front, and you have just windows.
Yeah, and that's worked out so well. I didn't even realise how great that was when I bought the boat, because it means I've got this bow bed.
Yeah.
But like uninterrupted bow bed. There was the hatch here, and I kind of thought, oh, that's a bit annoying that I won't have stairs to the hatch. But actually, this is so good because we just like. The birds just know. Like whatever boat I've been in, the birds just know that you're likely to get fed out of a hatch. They're so smart. They recognise the shape.
So if you open, they'll be full of birds.
You literally move to a new mooring and then open this, and the birds are like there waiting. Yeah, that's my favourite thing.
What do you prefer, like to be on the cruise or to be stationary? Despite that you have office and school nearby.
I miss
if that
cruising.
wouldn't be that crazy.
I really miss cruising. Yeah, but this is the best thing for my son right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made really good friends around here. Some boat kids, some land kids.
But I think land kids find it cool, no? That someone lives on the boat.
It depends where you are. Here they do. Where we were moored in the early days, the kids didn't really understand it.
Oh, really?
There was one or two that, would jump in the kayak and enjoy it. But yeah, around here, it's quite an adventurous characteristic of children.
If you would have done it from scratch, would you have done it something differently?
If I'd had time, I would have ripped the whole boat out, painted all the steel inside, and refitted all the electrics, like from scratch. But that would have taken months and months, and it wasn't possible. But, if I get the opportunity to do that, I will, because it's been a lot of patching things up, having to rip a section of electrics out and redo them. It's quite a lot of hassle. But yeah, just to rip it out and start again.
Not living on construction site.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it gave me that freedom to...
And about maintenance, is it like difficult? You have to take it out time to time and then black it and everything else?
Yeah, I had it out. I ended up having it overplated. The steel was getting a little bit thin in places, and I was advised to maintain the longevity of the boat to get it overplated there and then before the steel got too thin. So it's now in effect about 8mm steel, which is good, right? That was the biggest expense I've had on the boat, but I got the best welder in London to do it. So, because I kind of thought, I potentially, I could end up having this boat for the rest of my life, so I might as well do it right.
So I think that adds up, but it splits like in years, right? Like once you have a huge bill, 5,000 probably it was or something like that, to
9,000.
9,000. But that's like once in 10 years.
Well, I wouldn't ever have to do that again.
Okay.
Because I'm going to look after it now.
Yeah.
If you keep painting your boat, if you get it out every 4 years and you paint it, it shouldn't decay like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to take it out once in 4 years, it's just like a couple grand to paint it. It depends if you do it yourself or you hire some. So.
Yeah, the first time I took it out, craning was 300 and I paid someone to help me paint it. So it's probably like 500 in total.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess like 500 every 4 years.
If you do yourself, it's like one week of your work.
Yeah, and it's annoying, when you're doing it, you're like, why am I doing this? It's horrendous. But actually, I think there's something meditative about doing that hard work. And then you get to the end and you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. Now I have a beautiful hull and I did it myself.
So, and in these 9 years, you have developed your photography business. What do? You take like portraits or...
Yeah, so I do portraits, I do events, I do lifestyle photography, a little bit of travel, but at the minute I'm working from a studio in East London. Boats really helped me with that freedom to pursue it.
Thanks for showing around.
Thanks.